All right, I think we're just going to go with I think that we're alive. I'm going to move some shit around and see what's going on. Put up my chat window, enable some chat timers. Okay. I know Andrew's running on with his. He started at 7, but I start 8:05 every Wednesday, so couldn't wait any longer for him. All right. A couple people are starting to trickle in. Maybe not. Don't know if I got the Instagram up and running or not. Doesn't seem like the Instagram is going live. So let's see if we can't make it work. Stream key copied. Bear with me, everybody. I'm getting there. Trying to make them Instagrammers happy. That whole thing went away. All right, fuck them. I guess we're not doing Instagram. All right, I'm back. Tim Larson, hello, sir. Uncle Guns, hello. All right. Let us get things moving. Crystal Fox, hello, ma'am. I almost said hello, sir, to you, too. Put that up. There we go. Awesome. I don't know if I bring that closer, I can read it better. Gets in the way of stuff, maybe. Oh, yeah, I can definitely read that better. All right. So, stuff going on today. Let me go over to my notes. Today's live chat is brought to you by Gray Ghost Gear. Close Instagram out. Well, really can't see it that well over there, but right over there is the Gray Ghost Gear Overland pack, which they sent. It is the exact same as the med pack that I have at class, except instead of being red, it's multicam. So if you don't want your medic to be a target indicator, that's the one. But it's got all the compartmentalization inside. It's just going to take me a bit to stock that thing up. I suppose if we needed a medic to not have a bright red fucking backpack like I do at class, I could always strip the red pack and fill the multicam pack, if the end of the world happens tomorrow or something. But until then, it'll sit over there empty and I'll start stocking it up. Tom Hollyby, hello, sir. All right. Oh, I still have Andrew's link popping up from last week automatically every few minutes. I didn't do that very well today. Been a busy day. But things that we have been pleased to change and announce and whatnot. We have navigation dynamics this weekend. So if you're coming out to get your GPS on and your compass on, I got a whole new box full of the handouts that we put together, which is essentially the land nav kit that you can buy on the web store. Big box full of more of them. So we had enough for this weekend. And the box currently is what's holding Bob up so that he is in frame. So I can't really show you those. Hello, Adam. So navigation dynamics is coming up. That's pretty cool. We've added a pile of new classes on the website today for third and fourth quarter. But so some of the things we've been talking about were Shinde, hello. We added, let me copy this link. This will make some folks happy who have been asking. October 19 and 20, that's a Saturday and Sunday, we have vehicle dynamics here in PA and Mount Carmel at our dark range. They are going to provide us with a couple of vehicles, so we'll have more than one, which is always a fun time. Day one's mostly pistol, day two is mostly carbine, but it's not a day of pistol and a day of carbine. There is some overlap between the two. So just in case you were, there it is. Apply commands. Yeah, it's better. All right, I'm back out of that so that we're not getting killed with the chat. Bob McCracken, hello, sir. So yes, vehicle dynamics, 19 and 20 October, what I was talking about. Got a pile of windshields already reserved, cars already reserved, range already reserved. Then the following weekend, which will be the 26th of October, which is Saturday, we will have day 3 vehicle. Yes, there's a dog tag that you can win in day 3 vehicle. Or not that you can win, that you can earn. Also, the evening of the 26th of October, so Saturday night, we are going to do a low light vehicle workshop. So in 2 weekends in a row, we're going to have 4 days of vehicle classes. So as somebody said earlier today, vehicles are back on, or cars are back on the menu, boys. And that's actually the Patreon post, what I named, because I thought it was a good quote. So that is coming up. Plus, somebody said, motherfucker, we need pistols. Well, there's no pistol stuff this year. Although, strange enough, we just did a pistol workshop 4 days ago. 2 pistol workshops last weekend. But dynamic pistol is going to happen this year in Paducah, Texas, 7th and 8th of November. We're going to do 2 long days, and we're going to put 3 days worth of training in it. So you're going to get dynamic pistols, that's 1 and 2, and day 3 pistol, all in those 2 days. So we're going to be some long days on the range. Then that's 7 and 8 is a Thursday, Friday. There is a bunch of police officers that help me get this class sorted out that need to come during the week and not on the weekend. So I put the class during the week. But on the weekend, now if you're from Texas, you've already done dynamic pistol and you just want to hit day 3, you can come on Friday and get all of day 3. And if you've already done day 3 pistol in Texas and you want smash mouth pistol, we're doing that on Saturday, November 9th. Then, at the end of the day, when we're all exhausted and sweaty and been beat up, we're going to do a low light pistol workshop, also November 9th. So we are doing 5 training days worth of training in 3 days. So we're doing like 2 day-and-a-halves, like 10, 12-hour days on Thursday, Friday, and then a 8-hour day plus a 6-hour workshop on Saturday. And that is in Paducah, Texas. So yeah, lots of long fucking days. I probably need all day Sunday just to sleep before I start driving home on Monday when I'm out there. So there's that. New classes announced. Speaking of Texas, you see that the congressional runoff for whatever the fuck district it was that Brandon Herrera was running in, he lost by like 400-ish votes because the Democrat, or I mean, sorry, he says he's a Republican, that he was running against Tony Gonzalez, didn't have enough to win in the primary, so they took the top 2 vote getters and had a runoff, and then Tony Gonzalez got it by a few hundred votes. But interestingly enough, Tony Gonzalez has openly Democrat supporting PACs donated tens of thousands of dollars to him. Political action committees that only represent the interests of foreign nations gave him money as well. Interesting, don't you think? That the Democratic Party and other countries' governments sent him money for his campaign. Interesting. I'd say that, man, I still giving Andrew's thing. I turned that off. And it's giving mics. They're not even on here. Weird. Now it's killing me that. Oh, what if I just disable chat timers? See if that works. Keep them disabled. All right. So anyhow, that was my interesting take on the Texas political situation. I guess like yesterday was the runoff election, and a foreign asset for the Democratic Party just won the Republican nomination. Way to go, Texas. All right. Sound like fucking Pennsylvania at this point. What else have we got new going on? Midwest Industries signature rifle. Looks like this one. We changed up how the coupon code works. So you still get a free class. And it used to be you could either get the 2-day dynamic carbine class or Fish 1. Now we've made it better for you. You can have the 2-day dynamic carbine class or any 1-day class that has a rifle involved in it. So whether that's a vehicle class, a low light class, any of the force on force stuffs that have rifles, so all the fishes, cover clinics, the diagnostic classes that have rifles, anything that you could use a rifle in, you can use your coupon for a free day of training. So pretty much it only takes out like the pistol classes and like the nav stuff or radios and things like that. So we made that better for you. So those were our big announcements. Plus we're going to do over the winter an entire run of the fish classes again, or not Fish 4, which is all UTM, because, well, UTM is UTM and they hate American citizens. But the non-completely force on force. So Fish 1, Fish 2, Fish 3. We won't do the live fire. That's Fish 5. We'll do Fish 6, which is night vision, and possibly Fish 7 if the pistol stuff gets released before then. So we're going to have, and we're not going to smash them all together. We're going to use Saturdays because the shoot house is open longer on Saturdays than it is Sundays. So we're just going to do them like once a month over the winter. Just have a whole series of fish classes. I am waiting. I have all the dates picked. I sent them to her, and they look like they should be good. Will be confirmed sometime tomorrow. Bob McCracken, with any 2-day class, we get a rifle included. Tell you what, if you come to a 2-day class, you can use that rifle for the whole class. I don't mind. RJ, hello. So we do have some stuff creeping into the fourth quarter. So at this point, or at least after the summer, we have just today added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more training days spread across 8 classes, because one of them is a 2-day class, and we'll probably have 5 or 6 more tomorrow. TJ says dry fire mag still dragging ass. Now they keep, like, they're making a lot of social media posts saying that it's going to be here real soon. So maybe I got the dealership all set up. I'm just waiting for them to drop it so that I can put my opening order in and get half 365 and half Glock, and we'll be golden. So other big news, the new Trempendix, which I have in my hand. This is a prototype, and it is not the final prototype. There'll be some changes being made. I will describe them to you a little bit. We're still just tweaking the blocking in the back of the molds for the pad to bolt on with, so that it's going to be as small as possible and the screws not hit like your sight channel. Wow, it's still dropping the automatic links. I have it turned off. I've even deleted some of those, and it's still dropping them. Computers, awesome. The wiggly jig, as you I don't know if you can see or not, but it has just a little protrusion below the curved edge of the holster. So we've got a new wiggly jig we designed. It has like 3 holes, and instead of being in line, it's 2 of them are in line that fit up with the bolt holes, and then this will kick off at 45 degrees so that it'll be tucked completely in. I don't know if you can see it or not from your angle or how zoomed in the cameras, but there is space under it to put your tie off through. So even if it's rotated out of the way more, you'll still be able to put a tie off if you want to put it in a kit bag or a fanny pack. If you wanted the tie off to be more pronounced, you could just unscrew it, flip it over, and screw it back in, and it would point 45 degrees the other way, which is a direction left-handers would use when the whole holster is backwards. The other thing we did on these edges here, we have some pieces down in the shop area that I've been looking at that we changed the blocking so that the Kydex will actually wrap a little down in this gap, like where the tension screws and the rubber washers normally are on a holster, so that it'll make a more rounded corner. So when your leg is up against it, you won't hit these 2 sharp edges. They'll be softened. But I guess that's taken a whole lot of shaping of the blocking that goes on the mold to get that perfect. But I'm pretty stoked about it. So that's happening, and it has a name. So we've made some more tweaks to the prototypes, and it finally has a name. So I had to list the names, and I took the ones that made sense, and I kind of threw them all in a pile and talked to some folks that whose opinions I value, and said, all right, what ones do you think? And we were going to do a poll, but then my business page won't let me put a poll, so it'd have to be an alumni only poll. And I was just like, let's just, come together with what we think. And I'll tell you what was in the running. I'll tell you the ones that were in the running that did not make it. The Trempendix K, that's the German for small. The Trempendix Grand Prix. I like where you're going with that. The Trempendix Maritime, which I thought was interesting, except there's nothing specifically about it that makes it like for being around water. The Trempendix Airborne, which also is cool, except there's nothing around it that makes it remotely airborne rated. While the name sounded cool, there was no relevance. In an ode to Pulp Fiction, we had the Trempendix Royale, because of the metric system. The Trempendix FNP, and that was for Feel No Pain. The Trempendix XX, maybe triple X, lots of X's, but it sounded too extreme, so I nixed the X thing. The Trempendix Null, Null, I just thought it sounded cool. Those are all the runners-up that did not make it. So now what we have is and turns out we changed a bunch of shit. We have the Trempendix Omega. And the normal Trempendix that you all already are wearing has become the Trempendix Alpha. So I changed the name of both Trempendix. We have an Alpha and an Omega model. So there we go. We got a name, and we've made some modifications to it to make it even cooler. Now, if you're thinking about getting a Trimpendix Omega, boy, I probably should have made a link for that. I'm going to get it for you because I care. And, I like making money. That too. I'm going to give you a link right now. There is the link for the holster. The sale price that I started last Wednesday for the pre-sale will keep going until 9:05 tonight. So when this live chat is over, unless you all get me talking and I talk a little extra, the $15 discount is going to go away. So there you go. It is still a pre-order. They will ship sometime in June. We've probably put another week on the delayed it another week for the changes that we made, but it's all for the better. So let me go back over to my notes. Perfect. Look at that. We're at 8:27. I've covered everything I needed to talk about. So, 21 minutes in, and I covered it all. I have not gone over and looked at the social media event on Facebook to see if anybody had posted any questions, because I was slacking. I spent the last hour watching Andrew's live chat with Pete. So you got to give me a second to go see if the event has any questions posted. If so, I'll jump right on those. Oh. All right. Stephen Coombe actually has a Andrew, hello, sir. It is good to see that you have finally ended your live stream and come on over. So Stephen Coombe says, what are your thoughts on adjustable gas blocks for use with suppressors and adjustable gas block or adjustable bolt carrier for suppressed use? So I am totally cool with the idea of something in your gas system being adjustable to keep your gun cleaner so that it runs longer. Because suppressed guns tend to get like 10 to 15 magazines worth of firing in them before they start having issues with needing to have shit removed. And I'd like it to go longer than that. If you can bleed off some of the dirt in a location other than inside the bolt carrier, it tends to do those kind of things. That being said, there's a number of adjustable gas blocks, and I have not seen them all. And there's only like 2 adjustable bolt carriers that I know of that operate similarly. One of the issues I see with adjustable gas blocks is that they want you to be able to let you adjust it while you've been out shooting. And I don't really care about that. I want it to not ever adjust on its own. And I have seen a lot of students have X brand adjustable gas block that was not transmitting any gas because they had adjusted it too close to a threshold. And when it got real dirty, they needed to open it up, was their idea, but it adjusted itself a little more closed, and then they couldn't get it to move because it was like all carboned up. And I was like, oh, why didn't you just crank that open further? And they're like, oh, I was trying to fine tune it so that it had very little recoil. And I'm like, okay, so you're shooting like a 300 Win Mag? And like, no, it's 5.56. And I'm like, oh, so it started with fucking 0 recoil. Even like the heaviest recoiling fucking AR there is a HK 416. And you can set the butt stock against your lips and shoot it, and it doesn't damage you. It doesn't split your lip. Like, so what recoil are you taming? So I'm not like, if you want to tune it, that's great, but you shouldn't be tuning it because you can't handle the wild fucking kick of a 223. You should be tuning it so you're bleeding off all the dirt. And those gas blocks, I'm hesitant. They've adjusted themselves closed, and I'm like, oh, that's not cool for me. Mike Fiore, hello, sir. That brings me back to and I'm sure there might be some that you can't, that you need it's got a setting and not just like a perpetual setting, and you have to find the right spot and hope it stays there. That like there's a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and then you set it on the one that keeps the gun the cleanest the longest, and be happy with yourself. But which ones those are, I don't know. There's too many of them for me to try out, and they're not the easiest thing to change, because now I've got to take the rail off, unrock set a couple of set screws, drive out a cross pin to get the gas block off, and then I got to drive out another cross pin to get the gas tube out of the gas block, because gas block should be pinned in place if capable of doing so. So it's a lot of work just to try one brand of gas block versus another. Now, when it comes to the adjustable bolt carriers, there's the Gemtech, which they don't make anymore, and the Bootleg, which they may or may not make anymore. I haven't seen anything say it was discontinued, but I also don't, people I know looking for them can't fucking find them either, like actually in stock. I prefer the Gemtech, 2 reasons. There are 2 settings, suppressed and not suppressed. It seems to be like what I need. I actually only need suppressed, I guess, unless the can blows off the end of the gun, and then the gun would be unsuppressed, and I could at least have the chance of switching it. But I like the fact that it can't go to unsuppressed mode while it's in the gun. Like, you have to crack it open, slide it out, turn it, slide it back in. There's physically an arm that rotates, and it's inside the receiver, so it can't until it gets out. So the Bootleg, which is handled under the same patent, Primary Weapon System owns the patent for both of those. Bootleg is Primary Weapon Systems. Theirs has 4 settings, unsuppressed, and I assume one of the other 3 is about the same as the Gemtech. I'd assume so anyway. I don't know which one. That's probably more settings than you need, but nothing really wrong with that, other than you can stick something in the ejection port and change it, which means that there's nothing physically prevent it from changing itself. The gravity, I guess, and I'm not keen on that. People confuse recoil with muzzle rise, and that's a technique. Yeah, I don't. Every gun you put a can on will have less muzzle rise than the gun that you didn't have a can on. A pound of weight on the end of the gun will do that. It's mechanical leverage. It actually works better than aerodynamic leverage. So not really too concerned about their wing. So anyhow, all that comes back to Gemtech bolt carrier. I think I have one sitting like right off out of camera. Kyle says, I'm not keen on gravity. I'm not keen on trusting gravity to keep my gun working. John, hello, sir. Good to see you checking in. TJ says, how do you pin a gas block on? So some barrels and gas blocks come with, once they put it on, they'll tighten the set screws, and then they basically drill a hole through the gas block that drills a trough through the edge of the barrel, and you drive not a roll pin, you drive a coil pin. Those are 2 different things. I know people are shocked. You drive a coil pin through it, and then no matter what the set screws do, it's irrelevant. However, you have to do it after you have fit the gas block through the barrel and drill through both of them. So unless you're buying them as a set from someone that does that, you probably won't have that option. If you are a qualified machinist, you could probably do it yourself. However, if it doesn't come set up to do it, I'm not going to, but half of the guns that I own do have it done. So if I wanted to start switching gas blocks, there'd be a lot of driving pins in and out. So my thoughts on the gas blocker carrier are, I like the Gemtech carrier. The bootleg seems like it should do the job. I might try to figure out, I would probably put it on the setting I want and then rock set it so that it wouldn't move. It couldn't move on its own. And gas blocks, I just haven't seen enough of them to know if any of them fit what I'm looking for. All right. Sorry if I touched the mic there and it got loud. Oh no, he touched Mike. So that's the only question that was posted up. All right. So I got that. What do you guys got? Something? Syphilis? Oh, no. Wait, no. Well, maybe some of you might. Come back over here to this window. Will says his go time is pinned. My current like bedside rifle is pinned. It really depends on which rifle for what. Well, you know what? I think maybe even my 308's pinned. It might be, but I have some guns that aren't. Basically, anything I own with a ballistic advantage barrel is pinned. Anything I have with a Roscoe or a Criterion is not. But given the performance I've seen from the Criterion Core, I am probably going to, on my newest SBR that has not been shot a ton compared to the old SBR for sure, I am probably going to take that BA barrel out, put a Criterion Core in it, take that newer BA barrel and put it in my old SBR and retire the barrel that's in the old SBR because that one's stainless and it's not the first barrel that's been in that upper, it's the third. And the middle barrel had 33,000 rounds through it. So I'm not sure what the newest barrel is at, but being stainless, its lifespan is shorter, and I might as well put the chrome lined barrel from the current gun in it and then put the core barrel in the new gun. I think that's the way I'm going to go. Can we just weld TJs on? I would have no idea to what a tack weld would do to any type of barrel harmonics. I wouldn't be concerned about any heat treat issues with a dot of tack weld because I would say that you'd tack weld it like through one of the set screw holes. That's where the weld would be, not on one of the 90-degree edges. But I know, so I wasn't too worried about like heat affecting it because it would be TIG, so it would be very isolated on the heat. But I don't know what that would do as far as the accuracy of the barrel based off of that, how it's being fixed in that one spot. Adam says the Noveske barrel's pinned. So the barrel I have that had 33,000 rounds through it was a Noveske. It too was pinned. I destroyed that fucking pin getting it out. Like utterly destroyed it. So that barrel, like it's one of the few things I've used and then hung up when I was done with it. So in my office, there's a pegboard with a bunch of stuff. And at the very top, there's a couple little hooks, and that 10.5-inch Noveske barrel hangs in it. It was a real limited run of barrels they did. So it's a chrome lined stainless barrel. So super expensive, I guess, method in order to get chrome to adhere to stainless, which is why nobody offers it, because it really doesn't matter. Once the only thing touching the bullet's chrome, so it being stainless doesn't do anything. But they did it, and I got one. So it has the accuracy and reliability or longevity of chrome lined. It just happens to be in a stainless barrel, so it's kind of rare in that aspect. But I did get 33,000 rounds out of it, so I kept it up there as a memento to, hey man, you've shot a lot. There's a primary arms muzzle brake on the end of it that all the little baffles, for lack of a better term, the little things that redirect the gas to the sides, have all been eroded away from gunshots. And there was never a can over that flash hider. So it wasn't like it was acting as a can, as the first baffle, like a sacrificial baffle in a can. When I put a can on it, I took the muzzle brake off and put a can on it. So I would say probably 15 to 18,000 rounds of that barrel were probably 18,000 were unsuppressed, and it wore out the muzzle brake, and then the rest of them have been with a can on it. Adam has not even heard of there being chrome lined stainless. Yeah, I was surprised that it happened too. Apparently, the barrels were like $700 when they did it. I got it in a trade, so don't think that I paid $700 for a barrel. Somebody else did, and then traded it to me. Andrew says, what guns do I see break the most? All right. I know there's a delay, so I'll give you a second to answer I'm going to answer your question with a question. Pistols or rifles? And do you want models? If it's rifles, you want models or brands? So while you answer that, I will concoct my answer. Wilson Combat. Well, I will say that for their rifles for sure. I've seen a fair 100% of those go down in class. Because I don't know. There might have been some that squeaked through I didn't notice, but the ones I noticed, there were two, and they both had problems. There was there's like the weird story of Daniel Defense. There was a time when I considered them one of the top 5 rifle builds, and then they got to the point where I don't recommend them anymore, and they had so many problems. So that one's a weird one. I hate the ones that make you like fucking eat crow. Rifles, brand. Okay. So this is tough because while people are going to say, what about like, Andersons? I've never seen an Anderson rifle. I've seen Anderson parts on rifles that people built. So how do you rate that? A lot of people like to throw shade at Palmetto State Armory, and I don't even know, does Palmetto State Armory make a rifle? I know you can buy a complete Palmetto lower. I've seen people do that. Like it's the whole fire control group stock, all that shit. And I know they do complete uppers, but I've never even looked to see if they sell a gun that has an upper and a lower to it. They must, but I don't see them. So when I see a brand where there are affordable parts, it's often that some homebrew guy put together. So then I don't want to say like, oh yeah, Anderson, poverty pony or whatever, because Joe Schmuckatelli doesn't know fuck all about putting guns together. So if we limit it to just factory guns, POF, what is it? Patriot Ordnance Factory. They make like a piston gun. Barrett ARs, like their piston ARs, they all work great after they go back to the factory at least once. Bunch of Bushmasters. Probably the largest number is Bushmasters, but probably not the highest percentage is Bushmasters. Anything with chemo. Amen. Amen to that. If it were, oh, you know what else? I've seen way too many of them, and it kind of surprised me, is LWRC DI guns. I've seen a fair number of those have a lot of issues, but when it comes to piston guns, the LWRC is one of the more trouble-free rifles that I've seen. So I don't know what the deal is. I would have thought it would have been the opposite, because the DI fucking recipe has been the DI recipe forever. So if you can make it quality, it'll work. So if I look at that sample, I'd be like, oh, they can't make something quality on a good recipe. And then they have their own proprietary recipe for piston guns. I'm like, well, they already don't make quality and they have a weird recipe, but that works. So I don't, that's kind of an odd one. Oh, John says that PSA does have complete factory guns. I assume they did. I just can't say I usually see much of them. Or if people bought it complete, it escapes my attention. Usually I can tell it ain't a complete PSA gun, because when they talk about having a PSA and they have bought like an upper. I know a lot of guys that buy PSA uppers and put it on whatever. But then I look at the lower and it says, like Bushmaster on it or Delton. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a homebrew. No matter how you count it, it's a homebrew. Were old Bushmasters good? No. Absolutely not. Like all the way back into the ban years, that came with no muzzle device because you couldn't, and they fucking sucked too. In fact, during the ban years, there was Colt, and that was it. Like everything else just fucking sucked. Especially that one company. Oh, fuck. Who made the stainless steel lower? Somebody made a stainless steel lower. Way back in like the 80s. And dudes machine gunned them. Like they, when 86 happened and Reagan fucked everyone. Whoever they were, those sucked. Oh, DPMS. They weren't the ones that made the stainless one, were they? Wasn't it Rock something maybe? Or maybe it was DPMS. DPMS sucks balls anyhow. RJ mentioned that Arrow just released an ambi lower, and it costs close to an LMT. Yeah, I saw that too. It looks like they probably tried to make it as close as to an LMT as they could without running across any trade issues. I will tell you this: in no world whatsoever is Arrow a top tier anything. So for them to have a product that works similarly to an LMT, it should cost considerably less based off of the failure rate that Arrow has in stuff. Their enhanced upper thing that uses the proprietary barrel nut on the proprietary upper, man, that thing is fucking gear and come on a beard. Will says back in the band days, Bushmaster, RA, DPMS, and Colt. And I would maybe RRA was who made the stainless, but the stainless lower wasn't a ban era AR. It was a pre-ban era. And the reason guys Form 1 to them, to machine guns pre-86 was they thought it being stainless, it'd last a lifetime. Like they would never break it. However, dimensionally, it was quite challenged. Now, here's the problem with stainless steel when you have things like the magwell's too small to fit magazines in it. Good fucking luck cutting it out. Like, if it were aluminum, you could grab a hand file and probably take care of that yourself. Stainless, I mean, you could. You're just going to be there for so long, you'll end up grabbing a rotary tool, either a die grinder or a Dremel, and then you're going to fuck the whole thing up. It was a giant piece of shit. Arrow is the top tier of the budget tier. That might be the case. Um, like I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not. I would never stake my life certainly on their reputation. Um, like if I had to pick up a rifle and never test fire it, and I was at you know Frank's house, and Frank said the bad guys are here. You didn't bring a rifle. Here's one. Uh, I would not pick an Arrow over like 5 or 6 other brands. Uh, I would pick it over 5 or 6 other brands though. Like it's in the middle there. I've seen arrows that run fine, but I've seen arrows that had issues, uh, and they were like dimensional issues, not lack of cleaning issues, or assembly issues with things like we don't stake that or use the proper grade bolts and too much of that kind of stuff. Enough of it that like I would want to have gone over it first. Will's remember about as much as I remember. There was a stainless lower. John's got a complete arrow and it's been good to go. Yeah, and DPMS did make the stainless lower. Wow. I guess somewhere in my mind I blocked that out, or I'd have never even once touched a DPMS anything, even a roll pin. Yeah, like I've seen arrow stuff work just fine. I just wouldn't if I had an arrow gun that I was going to use to defend my life with, I would not feel comfortable taking it off the rack and putting it into use. I would want to have used it a bunch and found any issues that it may have crept up, and like, oh, I need to go restake some. I gotta stake the castle. Notice I didn't say restake on the castle. I just have to stake it. And I like their bolt carriers on the gas key. So Adam still has band era shotgun news. Damn, I used to love those then. Like I would go to the local, what was it, the news agency, the Lock Haven News Agency, and it was essentially like a magazine shop, like the kind you would see on TV, like or on the sidewalk in New York, but it was in a building, and it also happened to be like the Greyhound stop in town, the bus stop for coach buses coming through. But I would go there and buy the shotgun news, depending which period of my childhood. Shotgun news, ninja magazines. I always wanted a pair of the shoes, and then eventually later on paintball magazines. But a Tiger AR-15, I don't can't say I've seen a Tiger AR-15 unless you auto corrected from something else. And now I know every company that, even the ones that are on my list of acceptable and recommended rifles, they'll make ones that have problems too. People make stuff, shit's going to have problems. However, there was 5 companies that are on my recommended list. They're the ones, like I said, if I went to Adam's house and he hands me a Sons of Liberty Gunworks rifle to defend myself with, and he says it's zeroed, I'm good. I'm not remotely hesitant about using it. LMT, Sons of Liberty, BCM, Colt, Midwest Industries. Those are the 5. Oh, AK kits from Shotgun News. When you look, so Adam, that's what you should do. When you go look at in those Shotgun Newses, and you find like retardedly cheap deals on stuff, you should take pictures of them and share them on social media. Like you can put them in the alumni group if you don't want to share it, like, mess up your own personal page with a bunch of shotgun news photos. I just miss seeing that kind of stuff. I wish I was employed and whatnot. I got my first job in 92. That was at the Navy. And, we didn't really make much in the Navy. I don't know if anyone ever noticed that. Like military folks don't make a lot of money. And by the time I got out of the Navy, we were already in the ban era because that happened while I was in. Kyle must have been born in 92 because he said it was a good year. PKM, man, I wish I was an adult with a job. I'd have bought all kinds of cool shit. AK builds, man, just like fucking just whole AKs, whole Chinese AKs. John says customer service is higher in his list than perfect production and QC. I'm probably the opposite. Excuse me. I expect customer service to be good. Like if they make a part wrong, I'm going to send it back, and I want a correct part to come back in its place. When companies make shit that isn't heat treated well, or it's soft where it shouldn't be soft, and you're like, hey, this breaks real easy, and they're like, well, we'll send you another one. And I'm like, well, that's not good customer service. Good customer service would be to change it so it stops breaking so easy. But most of the time, if it's just something that breaks, like a small part, I replace it myself with a known brand. So that customer service doesn't help me much there. Now, on some things, it's different. Like I can't fix an optic, so I need their customer service to be great. Which, you get like multiple aspects even of that. So for instance, HoloSun, for the price you pay, they make a pretty fucking solid optic. It is not as robust as some more expensive ones, but when you can buy two for the price of one, like European made red dot, or three, you're like, oh, three of these should last longer than one of those. But regardless of that, let's get back to the customer service part. If it stops working, they will absolutely swap it out with a new one. Like they don't repair fuck. They go, oh, you're right, that's broken. And they take a new box off the shelf, they put a label on it, they send it out. I'm like, that's great customer service. If you can actually reach someone and transfer the information that you need to get to them. So like when they say, hey, I need a copy of your receipt and a picture of the serial number on the optic. And then the email address that they email you from asking for that doesn't accept incoming emails. I end up with a broken optic sitting downstairs in my office, and I have no way to return it, knowing that if we ever do communicate, they will just swap it out for me. But now I'm months and months into something that doesn't function, and all I can do is submit the form on their website again so that they can send me another email saying, sure, we'll take care of you. Just send us this picture, but we won't tell you where to send it because you can't send it to this email. So I'm like, your customer service is real good-ish, but then kind of shit too at the same time. No, it's not like dead air customer service. A crate of Mac 90s for $1,500. God damn. Kyle's got a Norinco. Adam, that's awesome. It's awesome that Zach did that too, because Zach was awesome. I'm just catching up on the comments, and I'm being quiet. Just bear with me. Apparently, when I went back and scrolled up, it stopped auto scrolling. I didn't realize I missed a bunch of comments. $279, Jesus. Yeah, John, I bet it. I was figuring we were probably pretty similar to what we were thinking. And like when guys rate something like, what are the 10 most important things? Rarely do you find people that you your mindset's very similar to, that the ones in the tens are opposite. It's like these three are the same, and I have 7 where he has 6, and he has 6 where I have 7, and then that's the difference. So I assume we'd be pretty close on that. Reluctantly doing a dead air Xeno mount for his new can. I don't know what the Xeno mount is. I wouldn't give dead air a nickel of my money at this point. I think the industry is probably best served if somebody buys them out and changes their name. I mean, I know they've been bought out, but like they need a whole new overhaul. But someone still needs to be in business to take care of all the warranty work, because at this point, it almost seems like you're 100% guaranteed to at least send your can back twice, or anything that they make. That's how much I trust them at this point in life. I could be wrong, but regardless, uh, I will say this: shameless plug. If you buy a Trempendix Omega or the already available Trempendix Alpha, as long as I draw breath, your customer service will be squared away. Once I'm dead, I can make no fucking promises. What was Huxworks called before? Ops Inc. or Ops? One of those two. I don't remember if the ink was there or not. OPS. Ops. Oh yeah, it was OSS, wasn't it? It wasn't Ops. The fuck, where did Ops come from? Is that what the O was stood for? Fuck, you're right. It was OSS. Fuck, I fucked that all up. Something was Ops. I don't know. Yes, OSS, which probably is an acronym for something. I doubt it's for the Office of Strategic Services. I think that's a reference to a song. Kyle, you down with OPP? He'll buy an Omega at 2 times the price if he can get it for a G17. So the Omega has all these interesting features that make it smaller, and then you just want to put it on a big fat fucking gun. So 2 people that I'm pretty sure don't know each other both commented, "Yeah, you know me." I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but it can't be a coincidence. Kyle says, why doesn't he like a 365? I'm not sure, but I have an idea. He'll even accept Tiger Stripe. Oof, accept it. I wonder if there's like rainbows and unicorns. What do you think? 2 times the price, rainbows and unicorns, or something fruity. Maybe even some fruit. You get it with fruit. Oh, what about Miami Tiger Stripe? That's like the the cotton candy blue and hot pink and black. Oh, there is a Deadpool unicorn. I've seen it. I've seen it. Oh, not fucking multicam black. No, no. And no Cryptech anything ever. Oh, they actually have the ACU Air Force Kydex. I've seen pictures of it too. Right? Was Unicorns be the Deadpool edition? I know I've seen some Kydex that way. Now I need to go see what we can find. Oh, I see a Hawaiian collection. Oh, yeah, it's got multicolored pineapples on it. There's some Miami Tiger stripe. Oh, there's some flowery ones. There is the Deadpool unicorns. And it even comes in baby blue or teal, black, green, and it's kind of it's not a cool green, and navy blue. So I'm thinking the teal Deadpool unicorns, and it's twice the price. All right, now I got to go back here and because I left you all for a moment. Oh, multicam tropic, that's pretty gay. Andrew made his barracks room zebra print to make him think he was gay. Dude, you're in the Marine Corps. Like, they're power gay. Princess Fiona asks, who is the guy behind me? That's Bob. Bob's wearing a backpack that was sent from Grey Ghost Gear. Yes, Kyle, there is the blue and pink Miami or Tiger Stripe. There's just the one. It's just called Miami Tiger. It's got blue and pink. Oh, pineapples are for swingers, not gays? I had no idea. I just saw fruit and thought fruity. And like Hitler took his pineapple in the butt. I saw it on Little Nicky. So there we go. RJ's going to get the RJ special in teal Deadpool unicorn, and an Omega for a Glock 19. It'll actually cost a little bit more, but not twice the price. If we chose to make it, it would cost a little more because the infused Kydex costs more than Battleship Gray. All right, let me make sure. Let me go back up to the Tiger Stripes. Miami Tiger, it is a thing. Yeah, the Kydex itself is about, so a normal, like, it's like so a 2 foot by 4 foot piece versus a 12 by 12 piece. Yeah, a little over twice as expensive for the for the infused Kydex. All right, so here's what I'm at. Here's the deal. Since you all are asking, I want an Omega for a 19. He wants an Omega for a 17. If I do get a special run of fat Omegas, all the skinny ones will get made first. Because as we've been down there fucking with the molds, it was for the skinny guns. So we'll have to kind of start over for the fat gun molds to get those adjusted, prioritize. So it might not be until later in June, possibly even the beginning of July. But if I add a fat one, I need you two motherfuckers to guarantee me right here on the chat that you will order one. And then I'll talk to Hector about changing a mold up for a fat one, because that's what you get for being a dedicated live shatter. I know there's a delay. I'm letting you two fucking pop in there and say absolutely. RJ, if that's the case, yours they all have to be Miami Tiger. Is that okay? Actually, Will, you don't have to have Miami Tiger, but it'll have to be something that I think is cool. Fuck. RJ says he'll order 3. Good Lord. But you have to give me a minute because I got to add it on the fucking website. I can only do so much at once. But I'll put a post on Facebook in the Legio group as soon as I have it on the website. It'll be done tonight. Within the half hour of us closing up the live chat, I'll put it on there. Will, what kind of color are we looking at for you? It's got to be something custom, because the whole thing needs to be custom so that people don't think that G19s and shit are normal. Oh, Miami Tiger it is. All right, so there we go. We're going to do fat guns. And I know RJ wants a 17. Will wants a 19. So we can do it 2 different lengths. That's not an issue. There you go. See how easy I am? I'm going to add it tonight. And all the fucking skinny guns are going to come ahead of you. So, sorry. Nothing I can do about that. It's just because those molds have already been worked on. Then the fat molds will have to get worked on while we're making the skinny guns. Steven, I don't think they make a print with dicks on it. Although, I know there's a company that you can send your own artwork in. If you send dicks, they still might not do it. All right, so there's the deal. That's what's going to happen. We're already over an hour. You guys, let's see what happens when you get fucking working on me to make me take your money. Damn. I could laser some dicks on it. And in fact, for you guys, you might get some dicks lasered on it. Just saying. I already have the laser file for a dick. I put it on a couple people's. Iroquois Foreskin. You see him here around the chat? He's got one with a dick on it. Pete Pie has one with a dick on it. So I'll definitely laser a dick on it. All right. So that's what we got for tonight. The Andrew says Dick Camo is a thing. I've seen pictures of Dick Camo. I don't know if the companies that will print Kydex will be willing to do it, is what I'm saying. But if I can do it, I can, that's no problem. But I don't print Kydex. I can laser Kydex, though. So plan on it. Anyhow, when we punch out of here in the next 2 minutes or so, I'm going to get on the website. I'm going to add custom shop fat Omegas, 17 or 19. You'll have to click a box saying which one you want. You can add to cart, do all the bullshit, and ta-da! We'll have Dick encrusted Miami Tiger fat Omegas. Sound like a plan? Awesome. Because I'm almost out of tang. It's for astronauts, All right. So, done. Unless you guys got something, I'm going to punch out of here. Going in 3, 2, 1. All right. I know there's a delay. You missed it. So, if you're looking for the other Omegas, check the website. I'm going to go to a different computer, and after we order, will you take them down? After you two order, probably. But if a day or two rolls around, like you say, I got to wait till Friday to buy it, then I'll wait. But if you're that tight on money to buy a holster, you have to wait until payday to do it. Maybe buying holsters isn't the thing you should be doing. But it's going to be like a $5 upcharge on the normal price for that because the Kydex costs more. But we'll get her fucking bashed out for you guys. So you all have a wonderful evening. I apparently have some computer work to go do because I'm not a web designer and I suck at this kind of thing. But hey, while you're there, there's a bunch of new classes. Sign up for those as well. Will, I'm coming to Texas. Sign up for some classes. Anyhow, I'll talk at you all later. Man, you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you next Wednesday right here on